At just 24 years old, NBA YoungBoy made $100 million while on house arrest. Yeah, $100 million without leaving his front door. This isn't just about music, it's about pain, hustle, and the kind of work ethic that doesn't stop, even when the world tells you to sit still. From the streets of North Baton Rouge to becoming one of the most streamed artists alive, this is how NBA YoungBoy turned confinement into a kingdom and changed hip-hop forever. While most kids his age were stressing about homework or crushes, YoungBoy was turning his pain into poetry. Every verse, every hook, it was therapy. When he finally got out of juvie in 2015, he wasn't the same kid anymore. The system didn't break him, it built him. He came out with fire in his eyes, a pen in his hand, and one goal: to never be broke again. The crazy part, he was still just 16. No money, no label, no manager, just raw hunger and a borrowed mic. His first mixtape, Life Before Fame, dropped that same year, April 2015, and it sounded exactly like what the title said: raw, unfiltered, pain poured straight from his soul. Songs like Homicide and Range Rover weren't about flexing, they were about survival. But what really made YoungBoy different was how he worked. While most rappers drop one project a year and chill, he was out here flooding the streets. In less than 12 months, he released Mind of a Menace, Mind of a Menace 2, and Before I Go. No fancy rollouts, no big label budgets, just grind. It was like he decided music was his 9 to 5, except he never clocked out. Then came the tape that changed everything. 38 Baby, dropped in September 2016, named after the very street he grew up on. That project wasn't just songs, it was a movie. You could feel the paranoia, the pain, the danger. He talked about sipping lean to stay calm, about carrying guns just to stay alive, about friends turning into enemies. But here's the wild part, this wasn't studio fiction. Some of those sessions had him recording with an AK-47 right next to him. Actual footage later surfaced showing it. He wasn't pretending to live that life. He was surviving it. The video for 38 Baby blew up instantly. It was gritty, raw, and real, showing a teenager surrounded by heavy artillery like it was nothing. It racked up millions of views, and more importantly, it made the industry pay attention. Kevin Gates, one of Louisiana's biggest names, saw himself in YoungBoy. Not only did he hop on the 38 Baby tape, he literally got a tattoo of YoungBoy's face on his leg. That's not just respect, that's a stamp. Then Boozy Badazz called him up for a collab on My Little Son. 21 Savage jumped on the Murder remix. These weren't random features. These were legends passing the torch. But as his music was exploding, his past was catching up fast. The same street life that gave his songs authenticity was also stacking up real charges. By 2017, he was facing serious cases, the kind that could end a career before it even starts. Most artists would have slowed down, maybe tried to play it safe. But YoungBoy? Nah, he went harder. Even with lawyers and court dates hanging over his head, he kept dropping project after project. It wasn't just about fame, it was survival mode. His fan base grew faster than anyone expected, and they weren't casual listeners, they were loyal. Ride or die loyal. What really separates NBA YoungBoy from everyone else isn't just his flow or delivery, it's that superhuman work ethic. Dude treats music like oxygen. According to DJ Academics, who's close to his team, YoungBoy's daily routine is insane. Academics once said he'll perform a 2-hour show, shoot a video before and after the show, and if he's not shooting a video, he's recording. Think about that. 2 hours on stage, then straight to a shoot, then right back to the mic. And that's not some special occasion, that's just a Tuesday for him. While other rappers are out partying or taking creative breaks, YoungBoy is still working, non-stop. That grind became the blueprint for his whole business. See, in today's streaming world, one song might not make you rich, but 100 songs? That's different math. If one track brings in 10,000, then 100 can bring 1,000,000. Simple logic, but very few artists have the discipline or the drive to make that happen. YoungBoy does, and the numbers prove it. In just a few years, he's dropped more music than most rappers do in their entire careers. Mixtapes, albums, collabs. His catalog is massive. His YouTube page alone racks up billions of views, and his name stays near the top of global streaming charts. And it's not just about the music. YoungBoy built an entire content empire around himself. He shoots his own videos, runs his socials, talks directly to fans, and keeps complete creative control. No middlemen, no label puppeteers. Then came the next twist in the story. House arrest. In 2021, the feds caught up with him again, hitting him with heavy charges. He was placed on house arrest while waiting for trial. For most artists, that would have been the end. No touring, no shows, no movement. But for YoungBoy, that isolation became his empire. While stuck at home, he flipped house arrest into the most profitable era of his life. No clubs, no distractions, just him, the mic, and the internet. By 2023, according to sources close to his camp, the money started hitting different. According to DJ Academics, 2023 was the year YoungBoy hit a whole new level, the year the garage turned into a gold mine. Allegedly, Academics said, YoungBoy made $100 million last year. $100 million. From his garage, while still on house arrest. Think about that for a second. That's not just unheard of in hip-hop, that's unheard of anywhere. No artist in history has pulled in that kind of money without leaving their front door. So how'd he pull it off? Academics broke it down. Part of that money came from a catalog sale. YoungBoy had stayed independent for most of his career, which meant he owned his masters. When his streaming numbers and fan loyalty started breaking records, investors and labels came calling. He reportedly sold part of his catalog for somewhere between 30 to 35 million. Then came a new deal with Capitol Records worth another 30 to 40 million. But here's where it gets smart. It wasn't a typical record deal. YoungBoy didn't hand over control. He kept creative freedom, his release schedule, and his independence intact. He basically got the bag and stayed the boss. The rest of the money came from royalties, publishing, and a few quiet business moves behind the scenes. Nobody really knows the full story, and that's exactly how YoungBoy likes it. But what made this house arrest era special wasn't just the money. It was how he flipped a legal lockdown into a creative empire. Since he couldn't leave the house, he turned his garage into a full-blown studio. Lights, cameras, mics, everything. He started dropping music videos from the same space, week after week, each one looking completely different thanks to creative angles and smart editing. What should have been a limitation turned into his biggest advantage. Fans loved it because it felt real. No rented mansions, no fake flexing, just YoungBoy, raw and unfiltered, giving the world a front row seat to his reality. And that authenticity hit different. But if you really want to understand why he works this hard, you have to look at his family life. At just 25, YoungBoy has 12 kids. 12. Most people would see that as pressure. He sees it as purpose. I got 12 kids to feed, he said over and over in interviews. And that's not just a quote. That's his why. Do the math. If each child needs around 100 grand a year for food, school, and a decent life, that's $1.2 million annually. Add in their mothers, family, taxes, business expenses, and suddenly he's gotta make millions every year just to stay even. But for YoungBoy, it's more than money. It's about breaking the cycle. He grew up without a father. His dad was in prison. His uncle died in the streets. He's seen what it looks like when families fall apart, and now he's determined to make sure his kids never feel that same void, even with everything going on. The legal battles, the media drama, the isolation, he stays active in their lives. He posts them, talks about them, and keeps them close. I'm trying to break the cycle, he once said, and you can feel that's real. What makes his story so wild isn't just how much he's made, but how he made it. While most rappers are chasing brand deals, tours, and luxury endorsements, YoungBoy built a whole new model. He figured out how to make the internet his stage. By owning his masters and flooding the market with content, every single stream, every download, every licensing deal feeds directly back to him, not the label. That's why he doesn't need radio play or TikTok trends to win. His fans go straight to him, and he gives them exactly what they want: consistency. While most rappers drop once or twice a year, YoungBoy keeps dropping every few weeks. New music, new visuals, new energy. That constant flow keeps him on top of streaming algorithms and keeps fans checking in daily. He's also mastered the art of connection. He doesn't need radio DJs or industry gatekeepers. He talks directly to his audience, replies to fans, posts raw moments, makes people feel like they're part of his world. And that kind of bond, you can't buy it. When he was touring, the numbers were wild. DJ Academics claimed YoungBoy was pulling close to $800,000 to $1 million per show. Entire tours could net $50 million or more in profit. But here's what's craziest of all. Even without touring, even stuck at home, he still made more money than most rappers ever will in their entire careers. Because at the end of the day, NBA YoungBoy didn't just survive the game, he changed it. So let's talk numbers for a second. After paying for production, security, travel, and the team behind every show, what do you think YoungBoy walks away with? According to academics, about $50 million. Yeah, $50 million. And he's still in his 20s. These aren't normal numbers, even for superstars. Most rappers spend decades building a fan base big enough to charge $1 million a show. YoungBoy did it in a few short years, fueled by non-stop output and a bond with his fans that can't be replicated. But the money and the music only tell half the story. What really drives YoungBoy goes way deeper. It's psychological. See, this isn't just about getting rich. It's about proving something. Growing up without a dad, losing his grandma, and surviving Baton Rouge's chaos left scars you can't see. Those experiences built a mindset where failure simply isn't an option. I don't like disappointment, YoungBoy once said. I don't like to put too much faith in anything. You can hear the pain behind that. It's not arrogance, it's defense. It's a kid who learned early that if you expect nothing, nobody can let you down. That mindset fuels his grind. It's why, when most rappers drop 1 album a year, YoungBoy drops 5. When others shoot 1 video a month, he's filming 1 every week. He's not just working. He's running from failure, from silence, from the feeling of being forgotten. That kind of trauma builds urgency. When you've buried friends, when you've seen your uncle die in the streets, when you've watched your dad vanish behind bars for life, you learn quick that time isn't promised. YoungBoy lives like every day could be his last chance to make a mark. That urgency is both his secret weapon and his biggest curse. It pushes him to do the impossible, but it also keeps him on edge, constantly watching his back. The same drive that earned him $100 million is the same thing that keeps him isolated. The pressure, the paranoia, the exhaustion, it's all part of the cost. But even with that weight on his shoulders, YoungBoy's changed the game forever. His rise proves something the industry didn't want to admit: that you don't need a label to win big. His streaming numbers compete with megastars who have entire marketing machines behind them. And his fans? They're not casual listeners. They're a community. They watch, repost, comment, defend, and follow every drop. YoungBoy set a new standard. While other artists take long breaks between albums, he showed fans that consistency matters more than hype. His grind made other rappers look lazy, and the audience noticed. Labels started telling their artists, drop more, be active, stay in touch. That's the YoungBoy effect. His business model flipped the music game inside out. He proved the most powerful thing an artist can own isn't jewelry or a mansion. It's your masters and your audience. He showed what happens when you cut out the middlemen and make your music, your money, and your moves directly with your people. And here's the thing, this wasn't luck, it was strategy. Every post, every upload, every mixtape fed the system he built from scratch. The more he dropped, the more the algorithm rewarded him. The more he stayed connected, the stronger the loyalty became. By 2025, YoungBoy's situation started to shift again. He's no longer stuck at home, his legal issues have eased, and he's back to doing shows, moving freely, and expanding his empire. But that house arrest grind, that built him a fortress. He walked out richer, sharper, and more in control than ever. The $100 million he stacked while confined gave him the kind of financial power few rappers ever see. Now he's investing in real estate, businesses, and most importantly, his kids. Because if there's one thing that keeps him going, it's them, 12 kids. And counting. For him, that's not stress, that's legacy. He wants them to have what he never did: safety, opportunity, peace. He's building generational wealth, brick by brick, verse by verse. And now he's thinking even bigger. He said he wants to be the first rapper to make $1 billion in his career. And honestly, looking at how far he's come, it doesn't sound crazy. YoungBoy's story isn't just a come up, it's a blueprint. He's proof that you can come from the bottom and still play the game your own way. That you can own your music, feed your family, and never bow to the system. He's the reminder that raw talent plus relentless consistency can move mountains, even from a garage. At the heart of it all, NBA YoungBoy's story proves one thing: where you come from doesn't have to decide where you end up. He was raised in one of America's toughest neighborhoods, with a father locked away and violence all around him. By every statistic, he wasn't supposed to make it this far, but instead of letting his past break him, he turned it into fuel. Pain became purpose. Struggle became strategy. From North Baton Rouge to the top of the rap game, YoungBoy's rise isn't just about fame or money, it's about transformation. A kid who had every Every Reason to Give Up became the youngest rapper in history to touch 100 million. Not because luck found him, but because he refused to stop grinding. That $100 million he earned while stuck in his garage, that wasn't just income, it was a message. A message to every artist, every hustler, every kid who's ever felt trapped by their situation. You can build an empire from anywhere. While others complained about lockdowns or the industry changing, YoungBoy was outworking everyone, turning confinement into creativity, turning silence into sound. And the reason behind all that work? Family. 12 kids. 12 reasons to keep going. 12 reasons to rewrite his family's story. For YoungBoy, this isn't just about stacking paper. It's about breaking curses. He's not just building wealth, he's building legacy. Recording from home, shooting videos in the garage, connecting directly with fans. He's rewritten the entire playbook for what it means to be an artist in the digital age. He's proven that you don't wait for opportunity, you create it. Every mixtape, every upload, every song recorded at 3 a.m. is proof that consistency beats everything. Talent, timing, even the industry machine itself. His story is bigger than rap. It's a blueprint for anyone who's been told they can't make it. A reminder that success doesn't care about where you started, only how hard you're willing to go. The kid who once scribbled verses in juvenile detention now stands as one of the most successful artists of his generation. But more than that, he's a symbol, a walking testament to the power of resilience, ownership, and pure unfiltered drive. And the craziest part, he's only 25. 12 kids, 100 million, a work ethic that borders on obsession, and a hunger that doesn't sleep. He's not slowing down. He's leveling up, because if NBA YoungBoy can make $100 million from a garage while on house arrest, just imagine what he's about to do now that he's free. From the streets of Baton Rouge to rewriting the rules of hip-hop, this isn't just a success story, this is a revolution. So if this story inspired you, if you respect the grind, the hunger, and the hustle that built a $100 million empire from a garage, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Drop a comment below and tell me what you think about YoungBoy's journey. Do you think he'll really become hip-hop's first billionaire? Or has he already changed the game forever? Either way, this story is far from over, and we're just getting started. Thanks for watching, fam. Stay tuned, because the next one, it's even crazier.